Hi there, welcome to the Film at 11 podcast. My name is Joshua Zeiber, and I'm joined this week with my son, Joseph.
Hello.
As we're recording this, it is a frigid, cold, and snowy day in New England, and therefore I thought, for our purposes, it might be nice to watch a movie that is warm and tropical and sunny. Does that sound like a good idea, Joseph?
Yeah.
Good. Also, with your brother Thomas, for this podcast, I have already watched two James Bond movies. But you, to my knowledge, have never seen any James Bond movie. Is that correct?
No.
So I think it's about time you watch one. Yes?
Okay.
Okay. And for you, I think we should start at the beginning. I didn't do that with Thomas. We kind of skipped around a bit. But for you, we're going to start with 1962's Dr. No, the very first James Bond movie starring original actor Sean Connery. Original and still best, in my opinion. Does this sound like a good idea to you? Are you excited for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to watch Dr. No and see if this movie, the first James Bond movie, still retains its license to thrill.
Neuf à la banque.
I need
Carte.
another 1,000.
I admire your courage, Miss.
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
And we are back from watching Dr. No, though not without a little bit of drama. Full disclosure, we're recording the second half of this podcast a full day after the first part. Because sadly, Joseph is feeling a little under the weather, and although he didn't seem that bad when we started the movie yesterday, about halfway through the movie, the virus hit him pretty hard. Yes, it walloped you pretty hard, and he was feeling pretty lousy last night. He has said he will try to rally and talk about this movie, though. So, Joseph, this was probably not the most ideal circumstance for you to watch your first James Bond movie, sadly.
Yeah.
Did you manage to enjoy it anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. So, as I had mentioned at the beginning, this was the very first James Bond movie, starring the first actor, Sean Connery. When I introduced the franchise to your brother, Thomas, we actually started a couple movies after this, because the Bond movies don't need to be watched in order necessarily, especially not the early ones. But with you, I thought, well, we'll start at the beginning. So this is an early James Bond movie, the earliest, and a lot of the things that would become famous in the franchise later get their start here, but it's not fully formed yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being the case, tell me some things you liked or didn't like about this movie.
I liked the action scenes.
Okay.
I thought they were cool.
Okay. Was there a particular action scene you liked?
The one with the monster and the big tank.
Okay, with the
Yeah.
with the big tank-like thing that was
Yeah.
the locals thought was a dragon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, Captain. If that ain't a dragon, what is it?
A dragon that runs on diesel engines.
This movie does have some action in it, but it's not particularly action heavy. Did you find the pacing of the movie difficult to pay attention to?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of sick, so I didn't really want to sit through the dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like it, but I just didn't really want to have to sit through it.
Yeah, and that's a fair reaction. And I think even if you hadn't been sick, this particular movie moves a little slowly.
Yeah.
Especially by James Bond standards, where once they really got into their groove, they sort of developed a better, faster pace to them. This one is very plot heavy, and it's very much also this movie has a lot of just sort of setting things up and sort of settling into setting up the atmosphere of the scene. Like this movie takes place in a tropical location, and there's just a lot of stuff that's just about exploring the island and Bond going to a club and a restaurant and various things that were that didn't really have a ton of importance to the plot, but were just about setting it up as an exotic location for him to visit. Some of that's based on the book. The James Bond movies are based on a series of books by author Ian Fleming, and in those books, a lot of them are written more or less like travelogue diaries of places that he went to and visited and his favorite things to do there, and then he just sort of put in a spy plot in the middle of that. So there's a little bit of that feeling in this movie. The movies in general are not particularly faithful to the books. I think this one is fairly close to the book. Later entries, they take just the title and nothing else from them. Okay, so we talked about the pacing. Did you like the character of Bond himself?
Yes.
Okay, and the actor Sean Connery, did you find him appealing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's the first one. He's there's been several actors to play James Bond since him, and all of them are pretty good. One thing the series has done that's kind of interesting is that each actor kind of develops the character for himself, and they make it their own James Bond. So Sean Connery's successor, his primary successor, was a guy named Roger Moore, who played James Bond very differently than Sean Connery did. And then after Roger Moore, we had a couple more actors, and the most recent one, Daniel Craig, plays it very differently than either of them. So each actor to take over the role has kind of made it their own and brought their own personality to it, to make the series a little more, so it's not just a copycat every single time. Okay. Now there are some things in this particular movie that I think maybe haven't aged all that well. We talked about the action scenes. You said you like the action scenes. I think for the most part, the special effects in this movie hold up okay. Some of them you may not have even realized were special effects, like some of the shots of the boats and the mining facility there. They're pretty well done, so they don't really stand out as being special effects. But the scenes where Bond is driving,
Yeah, those are like the ones that I noticed.
those it was sort of a convention of the day where when filming driving scenes, the actors would film it in the studio, and they're sitting in a fake car with a screen behind them that projects the stuff behind them. It's called rear projection, and that was very much what happened here, and it's very obvious when you watch it. But in addition to that, some other things that just things that maybe haven't aged well. Bond's treatment of women in this movie isn't the best. It's not the worst by James Bond standards either, but still, Sean Connery's version of Bond is very much known for being a womanizer, and he takes very aggressive action against women to bed them. That sort of thing doesn't play as well today as it used to.
It's wonderful.
What's going on behind my back?
Look. No hands.
Did you have any problems following the plot of the movie? I mean, knowing that you were sick.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why Dr. No had metal hands.
Yeah, that's sort of brushed aside in the movie. They kind of mention it, but they don't really explain it in too much depth. That he has metal hands basically because he's been dealing with radiation in his laboratory there, and there was some sort of an accident that caused him to lose his hands, and he had to have them replaced with metal hands. But that doesn't go into a whole lot of detail there. And I can see how you would have missed that particular detail. But did you follow the story about what he was trying to do and how Bond was trying to stop him? Did that make sense to you?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. So some things that get set up in this franchise, in this particular movie for future installments of the franchise. We've got things that would become really iconic, like Bond's gun, the Walther PPK,
Yeah.
is his signature gun. The movie opens with an animated opening credit sequence. This particular one doesn't have a theme song. The practice of having a theme song over the opening credits really began with the third movie, Goldfinger, and everyone after that has had one. But it did have still an animated opening sequence. We've got Bond. He shows that he's really good at playing at gambling, and he's very refined. He likes to wear nice clothes. He knows his wine and his other drinks. He's very he's a man of culture, basically, is what I'm saying. He was a sophisticated gentleman spy, as opposed to someone who's out in the field just running around shooting people all the time. He's a guy who, he does some actual spying in this particular entry. We've also got in this one, it sets up his friend Felix Leiter, the CIA agent, who's a character who will recur periodically. And the villain of the piece, the guy Dr. No, he mentions that he's part of an organization called Spectre. Spectre becomes, especially in the Sean Connery entries, Spectre is an overarching organization that is behind most of his early villains. That kind of gets lost the further into the series you go, and they branch away from that. It comes back around here and there, and there was a whole movie just called Spectre. But for the Sean Connery movies, however, that's something that ties most of them together. So, you said you did enjoy this movie. For our rating scale and for W to an L, does this rate a W for you?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Would you watch more James Bond movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you be excited to watch more James Bond movies?
Yeah, but not when I'm sick.
Not when you're sick. Fair enough, Joseph. Okay. I will try to work around that. Last question I have for you is, did you recognize that James Bond was Indiana Jones's father?
No.
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention that much.
Yes. Sean Connery, in later years, after he'd lost some hair, he was Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade.
They don't really look the same.
He changed. He got older. He changed a little
Yeah.
bit, and he played that character a lot differently than he played James Bond. So Connery played James Bond through 6 movies originally, and then he came back for an unofficial James Bond movie called Never Say Never Again. That is not great. It's not technically part of the regular James Bond franchise. There's a whole explanation behind how that movie came to be, that there's a legal loophole that allowed another studio to make a James Bond movie, and they paid him a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
So basically, he made 6, 7-ish James Bond movies. So a good healthy run of movies before they transitioned to other actors. Okay, so you've got a lot to watch. There's been 25 Bond movies at this point, I believe, is the count, official Bond movies.
Yeah.
So you've got some catching up to do. All right. So I don't know that we're going to do another one next time, but we might do one at some point down the road.
Okay.
Okay, when you're feeling better, though. All right.
Okay.
I think we can leave off there. So if you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe.
Please subscribe.
And for a grown-up take on movies, visit videophileblog.com.
I'm fine.
Okay, clear your throat, please.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making demon noises.
I noticed. We're going to call the K-pop Demon Hunters.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah. See how that works out for you.